My goodness, road bikes have changed just a bit over the years, haven't they? If you had told my teenage self that in the future I'd be riding a road bike as radical looking as this new Orbea Orca Aero, I might have laughed at you, but here we are. And I think it's fair to say road bikes have gotten better over the years. They've come a long way. And in this video, I'm going to share some reasons why I think modern road bikes are better than old road bikes. Now, of course, many of you might disagree, and recently I did a video on why road bikes from the olden days might actually be better and some things we miss from old road bikes, and you can see that video linked up above. But this video is focusing on the benefits of modern road bikes. So let's dive in. Bicycle gearing has thankfully come a long way from the days of non-index down tube shifters, which were an acquired skill to say the least. The best thing about modern road bikes is the integration of the gear lever with the brake lever, so you no longer have to move your hand from the handlebar to change gear. It makes riding a bike much easier, much more accessible, and not to mention safer. The indexing of gears was also a game changer, removing the skill and guesswork of changing gear that came before it. Now, you simply press the gear lever and the indexing ensures the gear changes correctly every single time. Modern road bikes also have far more accessible gearing with wider range and lower gears than anything that came on old road bikes. You can now stand a real chance of riding up hills and mountains thanks to easier gears on the latest wide range cassettes and smaller chainrings. Talking of which, the advent of the compact chain set was a massive shift in direction for road bike development. It tailored the gears on a road bike to the needs of regular cyclists, not professionals, and opened up road cycling to many more people to enjoy the sport with less knee grinding on the steepest gradients. Old road bikes really stand out due to skinny tyres fitted. Can you believe people used 19 and 21mm wide tyres back in the day? How on earth did they cope? I'm sadly old enough to remember when a 23mm wide tyre was a norm and a 25 was considered wide. The best development to modern road bikes over the years has been ever increasing tyre clearance. It's the main reason I rarely ride my old Cannondale Super 6 Evo because it maxes out at 25 and clearance with these tyres is tight. Now though, even a pure race bike like Giant's TCR Advance can take up to a 32mm wide tyre, giving you much more freedom to fit a wide tyre if you want. And that enables you to enjoy the benefits that wide tyres give, and those benefits are numerous. Wide tyres are better at soaking up the coarseness of badly surfaced roads, as well as offering more control in bad weather. There's also plenty of evidence showing that wide tyres are no slower than narrow tyres, and in many cases are actually faster. These days, I'd never ride anything narrower than a 28 or 30 on a road bike. I'll never go back to narrow. Wide is where it's at. Controversial one this I know, and I'll probably get flamed in the comments I'm sure, but I personally feel the disc brake is one of the best developments to happen to modern road bikes. I've been here before of course, witnessing the same arc of development on mountain bikes where disc brakes are now standard. While rim brakes are still lighter and supposedly easier to look after, for me personally, based on years of riding rim brakes in all conditions and all weathers, disc brakes are superior. There's much better braking performance in the dry and wet with easier lever activation than even the best rim brakes from the levers. One finger braking on the steepest descents inspires a lot more confidence. There's less noise in rim brakes in the rain, and don't overheat a carbon rim and risk the inner tube exploding on a fast descent. Take it from me, this isn't a pleasant experience at all. Disc brakes also require less maintenance and the pads last for ages, and there's less cleaning. The days of the mucky black gunk of alloy rims raining down a frame and fork are well behind me now. Old road bikes are heavy compared to the lightweight road bikes now available, largely due to material advances like carbon, titanium and aluminium. Cast your mind back to the 1980s and a top-end steel race bike like the beautiful Villiers Superleggera with 9.57 kilograms, typical of a race bike from the era. Compared to a modern top-end race bike from Villiers, the Zero SLR, and you're looking at a weight of 6.8 kilograms. And you can easily go lighter with some choice upgrades if your pockets are deep enough. Most of the savings are in the frame. The best steel frames back in the day when steel was the king of the bicycle world, were weighed in the region of 1700 grams, as this video example. By comparison, a modern carbon frame set can be as light as 600 grams, and we've even seen lighter in recent years. Even a mid-range or entry-level carbon frame set is about 900 grams, so half the weight for the best steel frame set from the past. And if it wasn't for the UCI weight limit on bikes, a 6.8 kilogram ruling introduced in 2000, frames might be even lighter. Most top-end road bikes are now decked out with carbon fibre wheels, but it wasn't always this way. Old road bikes used shallow aluminium rims, but the push for lower weight and better aerodynamics pushed manufacturers to develop carbon fibre deep section wheels. And the earliest examples were frighteningly expensive, and they weren't always that reliable either. Failures in the Pro peloton were a common sight. These days though, carbon wheels are now very reliable and easy to live with on a daily basis, and the prices, thankfully, have come down a lot. While the latest top-end carbon fibre tech still commands a small fortune, if you want the best of the best, you can easily get a decent set of carbon wheels for much less. The biggest benefit of carbon wheels, aside from how damn cool they look, is that they're much more aero than shallow alloy wheels with no major weight penalty. And the lightest carbon wheels, if you can afford them, are well below 1 kilogram. In the future, we'll wonder just why we ever put up with inner tubes, or why we ever tolerated changing an inner tube in a pouring rain or freezing cold. Tubeless technology, where the inner tube is replaced by airtight tyres and liquid sealant, is one technology that is transforming the modern road bike. The biggest benefit by far compared to the inner tube is a hugely reduced risk of punctures. That sealant inside a tyre, in most cases, can repair holes made by usual puncture culprits, glass, thorns and flints. Tubeless tyres also have the potential to offer lower rolling resistance since there's no friction between the tyre and inner tube. You can also run lower pressures more easily with better comfort and traction on bad roads or poor weather conditions. But yes, they're not quite perfect, but thankfully the latest standards are pushing the tyre and rim manufacturers in the same direction of universal compatibility. Old bikes had pedals with toe clips and straps, which are downright dangerous because once you're in, it wasn't that easy to get out. Clipless pedals and proper cycling shoes were a big deal though. I can still remember my first clipless pedals, and while yes, they can be tricky to master, the benefits definitely outweigh the learning curve. The benefits of a clipless pedal and shoe is better pedaling performance and comfort. The engaged pedal and shoe puts your foot in the optimum position for pedaling efficiency, which is better when riding harder and faster, and especially if you're sprinting. They also stop your feet moving around, which can help prevent tiredness or even injury. Most modern road shoes and cleats are easy to walk in off a bike, and mountain bike style pedals and cleats are as good as normal shoes for walking in. Aerodynamics has become one of the biggest developments in recent years, from wheels to frames and even clothing, helmets and socks. And there's no denying it, when you get more aero, you increase your potential to go faster. While the rider makes up some 80% of the overall drag, the development of aero wheels and frames has definitely helped in the pursuit of more speed, or less effort to maintain the same speed. And while some might think aero is only for the pros, think again. You don't need to be fast to be aero. Wind resistance is the biggest force you have to overcome at speeds of just 15 miles per hour and above. Granted, it's harder to quantify the difference of aero compared to say weight, which you can assess really easily by lifting the bike off the ground. But switch to deep section wheels, pull on some tighter clothing or ride an aeroframe and you will definitely notice the difference. And thankfully, these days, aero bikes don't compromise ride quality and comfort like they used to, and their weight penalty isn't as big as it used to be either. So, aero bikes and wheels are increasingly becoming the de facto choice for all types of cyclists, whether recreational or racing. This one isn't directly related to the bicycle, but one of the biggest improvements that has changed cycling for me is how good modern road bike lights are. I have horrible memories of rubbish lights when I was a teenager that I don't want to get to here, but thankfully the latest LED lights are extremely bright, have long run times, are easy to charge and just work properly all the time. They're also pretty affordable for the most part as well. So for safe commuting or going out tonight for a training ride, modern lights are a big improvement and definitely contribute towards making cycling more accessible than it ever used to be. So there we go then. Some reasons why I think modern road bikes are better than old road bikes. And it's fair to say this bike looks unrecognisable from anything from the 80s or earlier. But what do you think? Leave a comment down below and let me know whether you agree or disagree, and let me know what I might have missed from this list as well. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll see that video on 10 things we miss about old road bikes. Then click on this video right here.